and I'm Cuco's granddaughter. My grandmother is Irma del Cid, his wife, and we're here today celebrating his life. For many years, my grandmother and Cuco, they were just so involved in the community with Sunnyside coming to Tucson. Cuco became, well, as you can see, he's belongs to everybody.
You know, Cuco's mariachi's name is Herencia de Cuco del Cid, and everywhere we went, he would always say that his herencia was not necessarily the music per se, but the fact that to use mariachi as a vehicle for higher education or for higher purposes. So that's what he wanted, his real herencia. We're very honored and privileged that we were able to honor him with the music that he taught us.
As a wife of Justin here, who teaches and directs the Mariachi Rayos del Sol at Tucson High, I've learned that those kids are my kids as well. They are his children in a sense. And, you know, sometimes our family has to take a little bit of a backseat at times because of the involvement. And like they mentioned in the Mass, Cuco was not just a maestro. He wasn't just someone's father or grandfather. He was truly a mentor to a lot of students. Those who didn't have that figure in their life, those who just loved the music and saw him as an idol, he became many things to many people. Cuco has traveled all over the world. It wasn't just Mexico when he was with Camperos. He had, you know, travels, you know, into Asia and Europe and Mexico, and they've had this opportunity to just be international in a sense. And now that he's passed, there's so many memories.
But he was very well known. In fact, a lot of people think that we're a church mariachi because they're so used to seeing us at church. Of course, Mariachi Herencia de Cuco del Cid would go out into the community and play secular music as well. But that was his pride and joy, to play at the churches, because he says, de ahí salen buena gente, gente de familia, you know, gente que tienen una relación con Dios, you know. And so he was really, really proud of that. And that was something that, you know, there was times where we were up till like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday playing, and then he expected us. Like, it wasn't even an option. We had to be at church. There's so much that I've learned from Cuco. I met Cuco when I was 15. So he was my maestro in the sense that he was teaching me mariachi. But then I married into the family. Paula, she played with Diablitos when she was at Sunnyside. Most of my learning at this point in my life was not necessarily music. It was more enseñanzas, the stories that he would tell me. And some of them were really good stories that brought a lot of joy. Some of them were, in a sense, like confessionals. You know, he would be like, you know, he would admit his faults, but also say that he was trying his hardest to correct those and to be a better example for his students, for me. And so, in a way, I think that's what I'm trying to portray to my students, Rayos del Sol at Tucson High. It's more than just music. It's more than just the culture. I think the special thing about mariachi is that it's about community.
Like the priest said, we don't die as long as we live in the hearts of one another, and I believe that'll go on.
I lost a friend and mentor, and he was a child prodigy, from what I understand. He was one of the few people in the mariachi that learned each and every instrument. That's rare. When you find an individual like that. That's how much his passion for the music and his people and the culture. I was very fortunate to meet Cuco when I was 14, when I was in Los Changuitos Feos de Tucson at the time, and the consummate professional. He was just an amazing individual. We talked about his musicianship, but he was a better human being. That's why everybody's out here celebrating his life today, you know, to share that with us. I was fortunate to play with Cuco when I was an adult in Mariachi Cobre. He was a former member of the Mariachi Cobre as well.
So musically, I owe everything to this man. All my musical successes, my traveling up to the people I've met, like my lifelong friendships, everything I owe to this man. I am forever grateful. Cuco del Cid was one of the best maestros that I think any of us could have ever had. I was real fortunate and grateful to have him for not just high school, but outside of high school, and to be able to call him and say, hey, I need help with this. You know, can you do this? You know, what am I doing wrong? And he was always there. And you really don't know how much it means to you until it's gone. So just, you know, appreciate appreciate it, appreciate each other, keep on learning. No one ever really just stops. And, you know, just you are the legacy that your maestros leave behind, so that's something that you really want to think about before you decide to make really bad decisions. But again, Cuco, thank you. Thank you for everything, my musical career, my life lessons, my family, my musical family, all the good experiences that I had, including playing for the Pope. That all came from stuff that you taught me to be able to teach me how to hack it outside of school. And I appreciate you so much, and I love you so much, and I'm gonna miss you.
Really, it was an honor playing for Maestro Cuco del Cid. He was a fantastic teacher to me and many others. He taught us in Mariachi Corazón de Oro, and I'll never forget all the great memories that were created with him, alongside him, and because of him. So to be able to be here today and perform in his memory and in his honor was fantastic. So.
How would you describe him as a teacher? What was it that made him have this longevity?
Well, you know, I think growing up, you listen to the music, to the greats, the classic, that mariachi estilo, and you listen to the music so you can pick that up. And he was the one making those recordings. You know, he was making those classic mariachi sounds, and to be able to not only listen to that music and learn from it, but also learn it directly from someone that was making that music, that was you know, that's something that a lot of people will never be able to experience, and that's something that I did get to experience. So it's nothing better than getting it from the source.
With Maestro Cuco del Cid, so with him it was a little different for me because he was never a maestro of mine directly, but indirectly he taught me so many things just about the way he ran the program at Sunnyside High School. So just kind of mirroring what he did is, you know, those are some of the things that when I took over at Pueblo, you know, he was a mentor for me. Just the countless times that I would play with him, you know, just you're in the presence of greatness, especially a great musician like him, that it's almost you're gonna pick something up, you know, whether it's little nuances in the way he did a certain part, you know, little changes that he would do here and there. So those things were really important, and just the countless lives that he touched. I mean, it is immense. All the different groups, because obviously he was the Sunnyside director, but you know, Corazón de Oro, the South Point Monarcas, he helped out for some time. You could just keep going on and on with the different groups that he reached out to and helped out. So, you know, for me as well, it's an honor, and it's a must that, you know, to come over here and celebrate the life of somebody as important to the mariachi community, not just in Tucson, but I'd say nationally and internationally, like Cuco del Cid.
My name is Irma del Cid. I am Cuco del Cid's wife for the last 35 years, and it's been a hard journey in the last couple of weeks because he was such a beautiful, healthy person, full of energy, and he died on January 6th, el Día de los Santos Reyes. And then shortly thereafter we had the services, which were beautiful. We had the Mass at Cathedral, San Agustin Cathedral here in Tucson, Arizona. And it was just beautiful with all his children playing, he called them all his children. And Herencia, mainly played Herencia de Cuco del Cid. That's why he named it that, Herencia, because it's carrying his heritage, su herencia de él, su modo de tocar, su herencia, su garbo, sus arreglos. Todas las canciones que tocan Herencia son sus arreglos de él. He did a great job with the kids. He always said, it's a pleasure. It's not a job for me to be teaching at Sunnyside. To me, it's a pleasure. And it was wonderful because most of his kids were there that day at church. Now they're in their 30s and their 40s with children, with wives, and they were all there for him. Beautiful. They traveled from Disney World, from Texas, from all over the United States to come to his services because they loved Maestro Cuco del Cid. And so I'm just so proud, and I didn't realize what a diamond I had all these years. And So now that I've lost him, I've realized that he's such a wonderful, wonderful musician, teacher. He was like a father to his kids, and he loved them dearly.